Hey there, how's it going? Wanted to post this review of a book that I just read. It's going on sale today, and I think it's kind of relevant to the triathlon world and endurance sports and that type of thing. Found the author on his YouTube channel. Typically, he's more a military background and nutrition supplements, but he started dabbling in the world of Ironman sports and long course endurance. So, before I start babbling on too much, we'll talk about what the actual book is. 25 Hours a Day, Going One More to Get What You Want by Nick Barre. So he is the owner of Bear Performance Nutrition. I've tried out a few of his products. Going to do a product review of one of his protein powders that I've used. But I just want to do a quick little review of the book. It's coming out, I think, officially on sale. I was able to get it earlier this weekend on Amazon Prime. I don't know if it's gone out a little bit earlier than they originally planned. You can get on his website. Also post a link if you want to go on to Amazon and pick up the book. I think it's around $15. Not too expensive. But without further ado, we'll kind of jump into it. Like I said, I found Nick Barre online, going to YouTube, uploading videos and everything for my coaching business, and found him on there as he was training for Ironman Florida in 2019. So that's kind of it's interesting. He's very good, and that's kind of his I guess claim to fame, if you want to call it that. He's got a very successful YouTube channel, and he's been using that to support his supplement business and get the word out there and get his business up and running. So that's how I found him. That's how I realized his book was coming out. And watching his videos, I do find them interesting and entertaining for the most part. So I thought it would be interesting to pick up his book and kind of see what's in there, because it's his story is kind of unique. It's started a supplement business kind of from the ground up, and it's kind of unique in the fact that he does a lot of YouTube videos and Instagram stories. So you guys see a lot of behind the scenes, and from what you see, it's kind of a small team that runs his family business, and his unique perspective. From my perspective of viewing his videos, it's not necessarily just about making money. It's kind of a nice side portion to it, having a successful business. But I think, and after you read his book, it kind of confirms that you what you think about the videos is kind of true. What's in his mind when you read the book. But with that, reading the book, it was a fairly quick read. I mean, when you look through it, it's got a solid 189 pages. So actually, as far as books go and what I've read in kind of the endurance space and other kind of maybe more motivational or entrepreneur or whatever you want to classify it as, it's a quick read. It took me 2 morning indoor trainer rides, about 45 minutes each time, and then about a half hour just kind of lounging around in a chair reading it. So overall, it reads pretty quick, and I'm not a speed reader by any means, but I mean, when you look at the text, I mean, it's not huge. It doesn't take up a lot of the pages. So, I mean, it's fairly concise, which I kind of enjoyed. You don't have to like stretch yourself too far. You don't have to remember where you're at and go back and take notes, all this other stuff. I mean, it's got kind of 8 main chapters. So he's broken it down very succinctly, and it's very direct, and you don't really have to like, get lost and off on tangents and that type of thing. So it reads fast. It's not, if you're looking for his roadmap of how he gets orders and makes his company successful. There's a little bit of that, but it's not like the day to day. It's not a actionable plan that you can write down and follow. Here's the roadmap to get your business up and running. It's more autobiographical about his life and how he transitioned to kind of home life and growing up, and then going to college, ROTC, then becoming an officer in the Army, and then going to Ranger School, and how that kind of parlayed into his strategy as he went and started his business, and his passion for the business, and kind of his take on how you parlay a passion into a business and make it successful. And it's not just, I like the fact that, he puts in there a lot. It's not a hack. It's not a shortcut. It's not hustle. It's not a grind. It's none of those buzzwords. It's hard work, and it takes time, and you gotta, sometimes you do the wrong things, and sometimes you do the right things, and hopefully you learn from the wrong things, keep doing the right things. So it's like I said, it's not exactly an actual roadmap that anybody's out there. Oh, I want to start a supplement business. I need to know how to do it. It's not going to be, you know, follow A, B, and C to get a successful business, but it's his approach and how he approaches the business and how he approaches life and endurance sports. So for me, doing Ironman distance triathlons and doing coaching, I found that kind of interesting and kind of spoke to me a little bit when reading the book. So I would kind of classify it as more of a component of how his YouTube channel, how he does his videos and interviews and just videos of him working out. It's good accessory to the YouTube videos. So it's kind of that flavor of more of a motivational, inspirational story of his personal story, a little bit more information maybe you get just out of the videos. But watching the videos, you kind of get a flavor for the most part of what's in the book. So it's a nice supporting piece to his YouTube videos. So if you're really into Nick and like his videos and like his channels and Instagram, I think it's a good book, good read for you to get more insight into his background. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to start a business, you're kind of wondering how this guy went from $0 to $1 million. I mean, you'll kind of get the high level of how he did that, but you're not going to get a roadmap of how to be a successful entrepreneur per se. Maybe that's later on down the road. He does a little bit more, detailed plans or that type of thing. But I do find it interesting. As I was reading it, I've got three children. I've got 11, almost 12, a 9-year-old, and a 4-year-old now. So our 11-year-old, she's starting to get into sports, starting middle school. Things are getting a little bit more difficult, and that's when you start running up against a wall where it's not, things don't come as easily as they used to. So this was kind of interesting as I was reading along. I think it's a good perspective that doesn't come from a parent, because as all parents know, you can give your kids the best advice in the world, but at the end of the day, you're just dad. You don't know anything. But you have a book from a dude that they look at and be like, oh my gosh, there's photos of him in Ranger School and he's in the Army. He must have some sort of credentials that mom and dad don't have. They just don't know anything. And this guy, he looks like he might know a few things. This is actually something I might give to my 11-year-old. I mean, there is some cuss words and stuff, but nothing she's ever not heard around the house once in a while. We're definitely not the most cleanest of conversationalists around this house. But aside from that, I think it's good stuff to read that, stuff, if you want success or you want things to come to you in life, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take hard work. There are no shortcuts. There are no hacks. There's hustle and grind is kind of buzzwords, but I like the fact that he doesn't. You got to be smart about it. You don't go put your head down and work hard. I mean, you can work hard digging a ditch, but if you're not going to be smart and work hard, then you're going to be building that ditch forever, and you're not going to get out of the ditch and to figure out the things you need to do to raise up to achieve the goals you want to do in life, if that makes sense. So overall, if you're a fan of his YouTube channel, if you follow him on Instagram, I think it's a good book to pick up. I think he did the Audible version, and he's got a Kindle version, so you can listen to it. You could read it. Like I said, it's a quick read. $14 on Amazon isn't a huge price to pay for a good little book to read. And like I said, I'm gonna just slide it to my 11-year-old and see if she's interested in reading it, and then we'll do a little book report of her own. So, but overall, I think it's a good pickup. If you're out on the street and you're looking for something along the lines of Tony Robbins or any other kind of big name in the entrepreneur business or supplement business, or all the buzzwords and the high level players and stuff, it may not be kind of what you're looking for, because it may not resonate. It's not, like I said, there's no tips, there's no hacks, there's no shortcuts. It's do this, do that, and the other. It's doing the right things in every day, and it's not shortening a day. Well, I'm going to act like there's only 23 hours in a day, so I'm going to just run myself on the ground trying to get it all done. I mean, for the most part, it kind of talks about how I think sleep is the biggest factor he forgoes in a lot of his activities to get things done. And some people could do that, and other people's can't do that necessarily and be able to function properly. So it's good real world how a real human being would probably start a company and run his life in order to make it successful. A lot of people probably after a year would give up, but I think it's good information to have. If you have a passion, you want to follow it, you want to make it true and successful, you're going to have to work hard. And I think he's good proof that you do the right work and do the hard work, and you'll get it done. So that's basically the review. Again, the link to it on Amazon is in the comments or in the description of the video here. If you have any other questions or anything, put it in the comments. I'm glad to answer anything. Like I said, I read it in 2 mornings on my indoor bike trainer. So it's a quick read, but I read every bit of it. So like I said, I think I would recommend it to my 11-year-old as she's running through and finding that things are a little bit harder in life than kind of what you would expect or would want. And it's okay to work a little hard and experience a little bit of toughness. So that's it for now. We'll talk to you later.